I didn't do it. You're asking why do these cubs have a black line down their back? That little tuft of hair that goes down the back, the adults will also keep. And it won't be as dark as they get older, but we were chatting a bit about it yesterday afternoon when we were with the Nkuhumas, about the fact that when they're hunting, especially when the females, and with the males as well, because the males hunt just as much as the females, when they're staggering themselves, especially in grasslands, it allows them to be able to see each other. It's sort of a dark line. But that being said, it's not the only reason. It also has to do with breaking up the body shape and the coloration and allowing for a bit of camouflage in there. Even though it was warmer this afternoon, we're getting closer to sunset. So we're starting to get some cicadas and crickets going. Sandpiper flying above us just now. Earlier in the drive, Gendre spotted another woodlands kingfisher that was calling, but unfortunately it flew off before we could get it on the live camera for everybody. What is also interesting is that these cubs are playing, but they're not making any noises. Usually you hear and they grunt a bit, but they're being quite silent, which is interesting. A shame that one's attacking its older cousin. Let's see how this goes. Not really working. So now the little bit of grooming, that's I wanted to be like, play with me, play with me. Then the older cousin didn't do anything, so now it's going, I love you, I love you. Atoll, you're asking, do these cubs look a little too skinny to me? The answer is definitely not. I have a friend that has a son who's extremely active, so he's always been quite thin. He lost his baby fat very early because he's constantly moving. He also prefers to eat a lot of protein. He doesn't eat a lot of anything else, and so he's doesn't have fat on him. So with something like cub, it's going to be the same thing as a young child that has that, where they get these fat little bellies when they eat, but you can see everyone else is sleeping and they're very active, so they're constantly burning off. So they've got a little bit of a milk belly on them at the moment, you can see there. And then because they're learning how to use their limbs and their metabolism is going to be quite quick because they're little, they're perfectly happy, yes, for one, but also very healthy. If they were too fat, so fatter than this, they wouldn't be able to function as properly, and also would throw off their body chemistry. They're good. They're very good. Sorry, Kurs, can you just repeat Will's question for me, please? Ooh, a Dachshund Kurs is a sausage dog, yeah? Okay. So Will, you're asking how big are these cubs, Dachshund size, sausage dog size, or house cat size? Thank you for asking that question. Something I'm still getting used to is you guys not being here. I know you can see it, but then obviously the size. So for me, I would say closer to sausage dog, Dachshund, than a house cat. I would also put them in the range of sort of a 8-week-old Labrador puppy size, if that also helps anybody. Got a Birchel's Kukul in the background. I'm obsessed with this sighting, everybody. And Jandre is giggling behind me. He's also a bit obsessed with this sighting, I think. Miss Parker, you're asking, will the cubs go back to a den site or will they stay with a pride now? Chandra, that one little female is busy nursing on the mum. I think we might be able to get a good shot if we move to the right there. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Look, once with lions, once they take them out of the den and bring them to the pride, that's it. Then they're out. Dens are used usually for no longer than 3 months, sometimes a lot shorter. The shortest I've ever seen, me personally, and every guy can have a different experience here, shortest I've seen is 2 months with a den. So a den site is only used for giving birth, and they'll switch. They usually switch 1 to 2, sometimes up to 3 times, depending on how much interaction they have from other predators, or the sort of smells and everything that's going on, or anything that could possibly have interfered in any way. And also just to sort of mix it up and move it closer, they'll usually give birth in their den site, either where they were birthed or sort of in their core territory. And if the rest of their pride has moved to the outside peripheries of a territory or into the home range, then the mum will start to move den sites closer to that side. So a den is used for a very short amount of time, because these, especially with lions, they're social animals and they need each other to hunt and to survive. Good question. So you'll notice now, I mean, we've been here for about half an hour, I would say, roughly. And they've played quite a bit. That one female did try to nurse, but mum wasn't ready. Now it's feeding time. Now they're all going to go in and nurse. And they'll nurse for quite a while, 5 to about 20 minutes, depending. And then they'll have fat little bellies and they might take a little nap. Or sometimes what you'll see, because as they're finished with the nursing, then the pride's going to start to get moving. None of them look overly full. I don't think that they've had a kill super recently. And then the mum's just giving sustenance for the trek for tonight. Another reason is that her teats start to hang low when they get too full, so it's very uncomfortable for her to walk around with teats like that, which is why the mums, when the cubs are in the den site, the mums try not to leave them for more than about 4 days or so, because it gets uncomfortable for her. Another thing I want to point out regarding the question we had about the den site is, with these little cubs, and actually with all of the cubs that are in this pride now, none of them are really old enough to help with the hunting. So what will happen is, when this male and these 3 females start to go hunting, if they come across, let's say a wildebeest, just for argument's sake, the little ones will be told to stay put where they are, and they'll duck down, and then the adults will do the hunting. Once they make the kill, the little ones will join. That male lion is out for the count. I think he's opened his eye once and sat up once. Sue, you're asking, why do the cubs have spots on their legs? So what you can see with the older cubs, and then also these younger cubs that are coming through, they're born spotted. I've even come across lion cubs that have an almost rosette background to them. The females will keep those spots, especially on their legs. You can actually see a little bit on the mum's leg just at the top of the screen there, throughout their lives. The males will lose them totally, and it's all for camouflage. It's all for blending in. Something that I wanted to address, we were asked earlier with who's the dad of this of these youngsters, and is it this male? Because this is one of the Birmingham boys. He's in a coalition with 2 other males. So all of the males will mate with the females at one point. Usually when one female is in estrus, when she's ready to mate, there will be one male that services her out of the 3. But the 3 of them take care of the cubs as if they're their own, and protect as if they're their own. So this one could possibly be physically the genetic dad, but it could be the other 2 as well. There's not really that much difference amongst it. All right, we are going to head off. I didn't quite hear what Chris said where we're going, so let's keep it a surprise for everybody. Who knows? Maybe we're going to Tristan, maybe we're going to Tayla, maybe we're going to Scott. You never know. Let's see what happens.
Well, our 2 have just woken up. They were sleeping ever so gently on top of the termite mound, and all of a sudden Shadow got up, she hissed at me, and then she decided to walk off. She seems to be quite grumpy with the cub. The cub is following her everywhere, and I think she's had enough of the cub and the hyenas and the nonsense of her kill being stolen. So she's a little on the grumpy side at the moment, but that's okay. She's expected to be a bit grumpy. I would also be grumpy if hyenas came and stole my kill as well. Now she's going again back to the exact same place. This is originally where the kill was, somewhere in this general area, and you see how she's sniffing around and having a little look for some sort of sign of food. So she's looking, and here comes cub as well. So cub's also coming past us. It's like a procession. One Mom walks and then cub follows shortly after. Let me get myself out of the way. Sorry, Sense. There we go. Cub goes, and you see how the cub just keeps sniffing exactly where Mom is. I think this cub's hoping that Mom managed to save something of this carcass and that she can follow Mom to some more food. Although I think Shadow is fast kind of realizing that most of her kill is gone. We heard the hyena crunching some bones just now and having a little feed, but it didn't last very long. I think that hyena is so full itself. When it was dragging the carcass away, it was like a round beach ball that had shoved a whole bunch of meat into its mouth, and it was looking really quite large. And so I think that hyena is just going to literally lie on it, and I'm sure its crunching will attract other hyenas. There's lots of vultures sitting here now, so I would imagine we're going to get a situation where they will attract more. What have you got there? It looks like a stomach lining maybe that she covered up. Well, there's all the internal organs. You see how covered those were? So she'd dragged stuff all over it. Look at that. That's amazing. So she managed to cover up all the innards. You see there she's pulled out what looks like the stomach, and so she might eat the lining of all of that and be able to get some nutrients from that. Whether the cub will get a look in, I don't think so. She generally tends to be quite nasty to the cub. Let's see if she's going to growl. See, the cub is just sneaking in. You see the little face coming in? No, everything's okay. No, there we go. You hear that? Sorry, little one. No food for you right now. Mom is hungry. Shame. She just got told off. You're not coming anywhere near my little meat. And the thing is that I don't think Shadow will finish all of that stomach lining, so maybe the cub will be able to get a chance to get in there. Now, Susie, I know you asked about whether or not if Shadow lost the kill, would the cub go and regain it again? I think that's what the question was. I might have heard it wrong. Ah, there we go. So, sorry, I heard it's a bit wrong. Susie, you say as Shadow doesn't hoist her kills, would the cub ever hoist? Well, I think so. I mean, Shadow has hoisted 1 or 2 kills that we've seen. We've also seen a situation where the cub has that sort of notion of going up into the tree. Remember the last 2 times we've seen Shadow on a kill, both times the carcass has actually eventually ended up in the tree and the little cub has been there. So I know Shadow doesn't hoist as much as what we would hope, but she definitely does. And look at how this cub is trying to sneak its way in. Little one, you're going to get a smack from Mom now. Yes, be careful. You can't go in there. See, she's trying her very best. Look at that. No, it's not going to work. Mom is going to smack you on the head now. And you'll find that leopards are like this. They very seldom will share. They're not like lions in that lions will kind of feed on a carcass together and both will be there. Leopards will be a little bit more sort of defensive and will only eat one at a time, and this poor cub is trying its best. It's even sometimes making little chuffing sounds, which is the sound that mom normally makes when it's looking to call it, and it's trying to kind of get its way in and be as submissive as possible. You see how it's gone low to the ground, just trying to make sure that mom kind of leaves it alone and actually feels sorry for it more than anything else. But sorry, little one, I don't think you're going to get any of that, I'm afraid. Who knows, maybe she'll get lucky and Shadow will leave it. The nice thing is there's a little bit of afternoon sun that's broken out, and it really is looking absolutely beautiful as it kind of just goes onto these leopards. Shh, come on, little one. It's amazing to watch. Honestly, I've never seen a female leopard as aggressive as Shadow has been over the last few weeks with the cub and food. Until, normally when it's that time when they chase their cubs away, they get to be a little bit kind of nasty, but Shadow's always growling at this little one and sort of making it feel as though it's not welcome. But there we go. I think it might have gotten it aside for itself. Let's see. Are we going to see a situation where both of them feed off the same thing? I don't think so. I think, you see, now she's rolling, so she's trying to show mom, come on mom, I'm hungry, let me have some of this, please. So she's doing all the techniques to try and make mom feel sorry for herself. It's basically like a little child when it wants something from a supermarket or a shop, and it just goes on and on and on and asks and asks and it will try every angle. It's the exact same thing with this cub. But you can see what Shadow's doing is she's basically stripping the lining from all of that rumen, so all of that grass that was inside of this impala's stomach, she's stripping that all off, and then she's slowly but surely swallowing chunks of that skin and that stomach lining. And now it is going to be full of nutrients, so it's not a bad thing for her to eat. It's just probably not the most tasty part of the carcass, and it's why she probably pulled it out and buried it. But if you've lost the carcass, you might as well feed off it and get the nutrients. I can tell you though that the smell is quite pungent from here. There's a strong rumen smell. It's amazing. When you first smell that, it's quite foreign, but once you've smelt it a few times, it's something that, oh, look at that light on her. How beautiful is that? So it's a smell that you'll never forget. It's kind of got this very, I don't know what the word is for it, but it is a grassy smell, but it is a lot more pungent than that, and you pick it up straight away whenever you kind of come across a stomach that has got rumen that's lying outside of it. You get that. But let's see, little cub is just moving off now. Maybe it's going to find something of its own hidden here. You never know. She might have hidden other organs. No, I'm going to have to lie down. Sorry, little one. You're going to have to wait for mom, unfortunately. Right, now as the sun comes out here at Djuma for the first time in the last few days, I believe Scotty D, who's sitting in the Mara, has a beautiful, beautiful view of the sun actually disappearing over the grassy plains of East Africa.
Well, is this not a absolutely breathtaking scene? A gorgeous sunset here in the Masai Mara, the quintessential Balanites tree silhouetted on the horizon, and a whole array of beautiful, beautiful clouds and some Thompson's gazelle in the foreground. Absolutely magical. It sounds like you're having a great sighting with Tristan, and what a day it's been, filled with big cats and lots of action. Who knows, maybe Tristan's leopard will also get lucky on a hunt this evening. Absolutely magic. We saw the prospects of this beautiful sunset, and we're racing around trying to find some animals at a low enough angle to be able to get the shots we wanted and the beauty that you're seeing here. Not quite perfectly silhouetted, but it was good fun trying to find the right subjects to show you guys, and just in the nick of time we did. And the light's changing rapidly, so Mano's having to think on his feet here and adjust the settings as the sighting unfolds. You're doing a great job, Manu. Surprisingly. Only kidding. Only kidding. Well, what a day it's been. Manu and I are looking forward to a cold beverage of sorts after a long day out. And while we head towards an outlet that will provide us with a cold beverage, we are going to be sending you across to Tayla, who is also enjoying a beautiful sunset.
Did you just say you're heading for a cold beverage, or did I make that up? Did I want to hear that? Scotty, you make me laugh. But how incredible is the sight that we've got, and listen to the sounds as well. Well, we might have got here just at the right time. Or no, you might have got here at the right time. We've been sitting for a little while, but it's been absolutely amazing. I mean, big male lion with a big full belly, covered in flies. Lots of birds chirping, and then of course the setting sun and all its beautiful colors that it has brought to the sky this evening. I think it doesn't get much better than that in Africa. That's all I can say, especially with the way the trees are lined up. That will most certainly make a great screensaver. Wow, wow, wow. If only I could take a picture that could do it justice. I don't think so. I don't even think how you see things on camera sometimes portray how beautiful they really are. This is incredible. Right, that's very nice. Let's go around and see what our other lions are up to. We have to go. I'm just making sure that we can drive into anybody. I seem to have a tendency to do that. Right, let's go. Sleepy McSleepington has got his head up now. So we'll go and have a look at him. And hopefully, once we've seen him, we can go back and the other fella would have also woken up. I'm just checking. I thought something was wrong with the camera. Everything good? All good. Okay. Sometimes the cameras just tend to fall off with all the corrugations that we have to go over. I want to make sure that we weren't going to lose it. We'll stop in a little minute. We're almost there. And he's just gazing off into the distance. It's very pretty. Wee, wee. Actually, we might stop right about here. I just want to give you, with that other car, just to show you where the cubs are. And also just to show you how the males don't really care that the cubs are over there. He's got no interest whatsoever. So not too far away. If those little ones started whining, he'd hear them quite easily. And I don't know if he'd go running to their rescue if a herd of elephants came charging through. Not sure about that. But that's one of the rangers, so they're allowed to stay out as late as they like. I think they're also part of the anti-poaching patrol. And isn't this a beautiful boy? Who are you out of the triangle boys? Or the Chitwa males, as they're also known as. If you've got dental record, there was your opportunity to check. You've got to be quick, though. Lovely dark mane, though. They are very pretty boys. They're not particularly ugly lions. What have you heard? Are you listening to your friends, the elephants, that are still in the forest? I think that's what he's doing at the moment. And that's why he turned his head so quickly. Let me have a little listen and see if I can hear anything. I can hear the leaves moving from the wind. I don't know what he's heard, but his hearing is also way better than mine. So whatever he's listening to, well, I'm not sure. Maybe you can hear the cubs. He's intrigued by something. Very fixated down the lugger. There's a bit of water in that lugger. I wonder if maybe a little antelope or something hasn't come down to have a drink, and that's what maybe he's seen something. Maybe he hasn't even heard anything. And my eyesight is going to start to deteriorate, and his is only going to get even better. I mean, they can see 6 times better than what we can at night. Can you imagine being able to see 6 times the strength your eyes can see at night? Incredible. That would be really wonderful. I bet I'd be spotting all sorts of rodents, doing all sorts of things. And there he just sits. And not another big yawn. I think he's yawned out. Okay, we're going to bounce up and down. I might go and have just a little check on the cubs, see how they're doing. And I suppose Noelle's doing a little bit of babysitting herself. It seems as though she is watching the young Styx cubs. Here is your screenshot of the day with this uber cuteness. So full from having just nursed and busy resting his head, and then the sibling that's behind him is sort of cuddled up and has a little paw on his back. Oh, he's just pushed him off. Oh, shame. Absolutely adorable. So the mom got up and moved off a little bit, and then one of the other adult females is also moving around a little bit. They're busy grooming each other. So they're definitely going to start moving soon. I'm hoping when they move they go down for a drink. That will be lovely. We're actually going to have a sunset tonight as opposed to some clouds. There's a fish eagle calling in the background. I don't know. Actually, it's not a fish eagle, sorry. I think it's a Wahlberg, so I'm losing my mind a little bit. I don't know if you all could hear that. There's the spots we talked about earlier. That's a nice screenshot as well. That's super cute. Tristan also has some uber cuteness, albeit older uber cuteness. We're going to head over to him and give you all a chance to see Shadow's youngster.
I do have cuteness. I have a cuteness overload. Shadow's little cub has just stalked all the way along over the top of the mound to try and chase its mom and to try and jump on her, and she went flying off the top of the mound, and now they're having a little game. Look at that. How cute is that? Is that not the sweetest thing? And a bit of bonding, a bit of grooming. So even after a bit of hissing and kind of going at each other and having a little mom-daughter feud, they at least have managed to figure their things out and have at least got a situation where everybody still loves one another and they're still going to groom each other. Very cool to see. I love it when little baby or leopard cubs get playful. It's the best thing in the world, and you might find she do it again, and it's all important for later in life. It helps her practice, helps her get used to what's going on, and to be able to learn how to hunt down things like male impalas all by herself later in life. So it really is a wonderful thing to watch, and we had such a beautiful little sighting of her bouncing off the mound itself. Now, since I'm just going to move you slightly forward, because at the moment what's happening is my shadow is actually in the way of, there we go, how's that? That's beautiful light now. Now the little cub is still moving around quite a bit and is still coming this way, but look at that light on Shadow. It's just that perfect afternoon post kind of cloudy, stormy weather, and you get this orange rich light that gets onto a leopard, and a leopard cannot look any better than when it is in warm light like that. So you can see a couple of the vultures in the background, and here comes the cub again. Now just watch the cub. If the cub gets close, she'll start to kind of stalk down, and she gets a little bit lower, and she slowly but surely then starts to kind of stalk onto mom. And maybe she's not going to do it now, although it's, I think, because mom has spotted her. But look, you see she's going down and she's just rolling, and you'll see once mom loses sort of patience and stops watching her, then she starts her stalk again. So she's already got that kind of motion down pat, so she knows already how to be able to stalk without being seen. So as soon as she gets watched, she stops, which is exactly how a leopard will be. Is if an impala turns towards where she is, they'll stop, and then they'll then carry on once the impala looks away. And it's the same with mom. So she's learning valuable techniques by stalking mom, and to try and hunt her mother is actually a really, really good thing for her. So amazing to watch. And like I say, it's interesting to watch this little cub as it goes about its business. It doesn't sit still for 2 seconds. The whole time we've been here, it has been moving around. The only time we saw it actually sleep was when mom was on the termite mound, and there really wasn't much going on early in the afternoon. But other than that, it has been moving all over the place, and it's what's making its mom move. Now it's just seen a vulture fly away, so I think it's got a situation where it wants to go and investigate. But the vultures are very far from where we are now. They're right on the distance in the horizon there. You can see all in the big tree over there. So that's where you can see the branch that's actually wobbling. That's where the vulture flew off from and landed on the other side. So it went quite a long way away, but that's not going to stop her. She seems as though she's going to go wander off and investigate what are these large birds that are congregating in this area. Maybe it's also a tactic to be able to get some distance between Mom and herself, that she can then start to come back and stalk this way. No, she's heading way off towards the vultures. You can see the little white tip to the tail heading in that direction. I'm sure she's going to lose bravery fairly shortly and she'll turn around. There we go. She's going to just stop and watch them there rather. I think she's actually looking up at the vulture that's not far from her. There's one that's just up to her left-hand side, and I think that's the one that she's rather going to be watching than the ones far away. And she's quite curious about this big bird that is sitting at the top of a tree and watching her, and it's almost a stare down between the two at the moment. Very cool. Little cub, you're going to learn to hate vultures. Vultures are going to attract a lot of danger for you and a lot of things that steal all your food. Okay, let's see now if she's going to stalk. No, Mom is watching her, so I don't think she's got any chance. But what she was doing earlier is quite clever. She was learning to use cover, and so she went round the mound. And let's see if she's going to do it again. It might be the case that she'll kind of go round the back, and then from there... No, she's not doing it now. I think the game is up a little bit, you know. She knows that Mom knows where she is. She's not exactly making herself small and unknown at this stage. Let's see. Maybe. Look, you see, look at those eyes. Those are plotting eyes, aren't they? You see, look how she uses the mound. So she's going behind the mound, and she might do the exact same thing as she did just now, which is basically to come over the top of the mound and then to be able to get herself into a position. There we go. You see what I mean? So she's getting herself into a position where she can then strike out and jump on Mom. See, look, she's poking. And there she comes. How cool is that? You're too cute, little one. It's such fun watching little cats play and learn. And we've been spoiled this afternoon between the Styx cubs and obviously Shadow's little cub and Tayla with cubs in the Mara. It's lots of little animals at the moment, and it's wonderful to see and to watch them go about their business. And like I say, it's all important. And now we're going to have a ferocious grooming session, which is typical. You can see Mom is really cleaning little one, and she's doing the same. And this is quite typical after feeding and moving around. You do see this a lot from a leopard and her cub. What this also might indicate is that they've decided that they might move off from here, because you often find with leopards and particularly when they kind of finish eating, they'll clean themselves and then they go off maybe for water. So you might find that Shadow decides that's it, we're going to leave this carcass to this hyena and we're going to carry on and maybe head towards Treehouse Dam or one of the puddles somewhere around here for a drink. Right, now while we watch these two and see how... Okay, Shadow, yes, don't growl at me. I'm just watching you playing. Now we watch these two and see what they get up to. Let's go back across to Tayla McCurdy and her two beautiful male lions. And I wonder if they're going to give us an audio show for the evening.
It's beautiful. We've had such an exciting couple of minutes. It was really, really funny, but it happened so quickly, as does most things out here in nature. But you remember our friend, the little elephant that was charging through the bushes? He eventually came through and out of nowhere, surprised, first Jahawi and Awi had almost had a heart attack because he trumpeted so loudly. And then he came charging up the bank and he chased our friend, the tailless male lion, the fella on the left, with the gorgeous mane that was laying flat and was with the elephant earlier, and chased him. And then, of course, typical displacement behavior, the elephant chased the lion away, and then he tried to take his frustrations out on us and mock charged us. But he was a young boy. He must have only been about 7 or 8 years old. So, you know, he was little, and I wasn't particularly worried, and I just sort of sassed him. I had a little laugh at him, and I think he was embarrassed, so he kept running off into the distance to catch up to the rest of the elephants. So that was quite funny. But it's just these two big boys here. They are really, really lovely cats. But I think my favorite out of the triangle boys is the tailless male. Now, he's not completely tailless. He's just got the tip missing. Tesla! Sure, again, long time no chat. All my little friends are chatting me today. First Mita, and now you have made my day, my blonde-haired friend. And now you're wondering if lions eat any vegetables. Lions are not very good at eating vegetables, like I hope you and your brother Ben are. So lions don't like to eat vegetables very much, and their mothers cannot force them to eat their vegetables. They don't have to sit around the dinner table for too long. They just eat what they want, and I don't think a lion would tell them any different either. I'd be too scared to tell a lion off and make it eat its vegetables. Sometimes what you can see is they'll eat the grass. So I suppose grass is a bit like a vegetable, not one that I'd want to eat. And I much prefer broccoli, cauliflower, butternut, all those delicious things. And anyways, so they will eat lots of grass if they're feeling a little bit unwell. If they've got a hairball, that helps bring that back up again. And you acting very playful. What's biting you? I think some insect of sorts must be nibbling on this line. You can see that tail is swatting, and it's not at us. And he's biting the air and rolling around like he's playing, but he's not playing, even though it looks very cute. He's probably quite frustrated right now that he can't get rid of that itch. Sorry, lovely fella. You look like you need to go to the salon, my friend. You're a bit patchy. Look at the different colours in his manes. It's quite beautiful. He's got like a little blonde patch there. Maybe that's the equivalent of grey hair for a lion. They are lovely. I don't know where they're going to go. I hope they don't go too far and stray away from the road, because we are in a non-off-roading area, which is not ideal, because we won't be able to follow them for very long. I'm actually going to just add a little bit of lighting here. Now I can spotlight these cats. They're not hunting. He's going to walk right past the car. He's walking in front of my lights now. Let me move out the way. Hello, big boy. Off he goes. Just casually going for a stroll. So I can spotlight them, no problem. When they start hunting, however, that will all change. We won't be putting a spotlight on them. We've got our infrared lights on. But sometimes it is nice to look at predators with a spotlight. But we won't keep it on them for too long. There's no need. Actually, should we have a look at him so we can get some nice pictures? Because it is quite nice. And I'm not going to put it in his eyes either. See how I'm just illuminating just enough to give him a bit of colour? That's what you want to do. When the animals start squinting their eyes because of the spotlight, then you know you're shining it in the wrong place. But you can see he's got his eyes wide open at the moment and doesn't mind it. And spotlighting techniques are very, very important. It's one thing that they do teach you how to sort of what correct measures and when and why can't I speak? When you should use a spotlight and when you shouldn't. I think you're going to have to get up and move too. Maybe there's ants in the grass that are biting them. That could be a possibility. Matabele ants or the siafu ants. They could be nibbling on them. It's just weird that it's now happening to both of them. And they keep rolling over as if it started on their underside and then they're trying to get rid of it. Maybe that's how he lost his tail. That's exactly how this lion lost his tail, everybody. He bit it off. No, I'm just joking. That's not true. He didn't do that. I'm so sorry, Curse. Please, can you repeat yourself? Shall we go to infrared now? Oh, lovely. There we go. My friend Tesla says that she's renamed the lions, and I agree with Tesla. Tesla says these lions' names are now... I've forgotten already. What were their names? Bob and someone. But I like those names better. I'm sorry I didn't hear them properly. Oh, sorry. Well, it was me. I wasn't concentrating. I was too busy watching the lion walk past the car because it's so cool. Bye, Mr. Cat. Okay, we're going to reposition. We're going to have another look at these beauties and see where they go. Let's jump back on board with Noelle, who's also got lions.
So Mum stood up, went over, groomed herself, greeted some of the other females, and then came back, and it looked like she was going to walk right in and greet her cubs. But she laid down. Oh, here we go. Here we are. Mummy, I love you. I work with a lot of very rugged, staunch men, and even the sight of this makes them say things like "ochel moeder" and cuteness. So it's not just my girly bits. Look, look, look. So Gendre is a staunch, manly man, and he's giggling with delight in the background. So all of this play, everything that we're seeing, the grooming, the playing, with amongst the cubs and with Mum, remember this is all reaffirming the social bond. Oh, so not only is she taking care, not only will she groom, but it's like when you wake up in the morning and you give your loved one a hug, or if you have kids and you give your kids a hug, it's the same idea. Can we hear the sounds that the little one's making? Dark Star, you're asking if little lion cubs can only feed from their mothers. No, not only. There is something called allo nursing, which is the nursing of cubs amongst females of the same pride. And again, that's dependent upon personality. I've seen females that are very connected and don't mind and will do that. And I've also seen females kill cubs of another female within a pride because they kept trying too much. But yes, it can happen, and it's all individual based. Chandra, I don't know if you can go left here, and there's that one that's eating. Yes. Chandra commented earlier, what a nice way to spend a Sunday afternoon, and I said, definitely, there's no better way to spend a Sunday afternoon than with the entertainment that we're having now. Also, we're getting just a little bit of golden sunset light, so the colors are popping out a little bit more. And Chandra, if you wouldn't mind, directly in front of us we have two of the adult females and one of the youngsters from the middle litter who are busy grooming each other. So to me, these two females in front look relatively the same age, so I'm going to just say sisters, but without knowing the makeup of the Styx, I can't know for certain. Notice her teat marks, you can just see there, but she's not suckling anymore. I would guess that she's probably the mom of the eldest set of cubs here. I've counted 10 cubs in total, and it looks like 7 of which are males. So 3 different litters again, 10 in total. And 7 that I can see are males. We can see most of them as Chandra pans through. There's a sneaky cheeky one that's found its own, it's a young male who's found its own little bush to the left. Yeah, so you can just bear it, there we go. That's all you can see of that one. He's decided that he doesn't want to have anything to do with anybody else. Now all of 4 of the little cubs are busy chewing every piece of bark they can get. Jeff, you're wondering, do the big cats have taste buds like us? And this question is actually tickling my memory. I feel like we found out the answer to this maybe about 2 weeks ago, but for the life of me, I can't remember. I know they do have taste buds, but the amount of buds we did figure out. Does anyone remember what the amount of taste buds for a lion was? I want to say it's something like 160. I can't remember now. But yeah, they definitely have taste buds like we do. Ah, thanks, I was way off. It was over 10,000 for humans with the taste buds and 470 for lions. Thank you, Kirst. Knew my memory tickled correctly, just not with the number itself. I concur on Chandra. I wish we could do a behind the scenes of our vehicle right now, because it's just 2 adults absolutely canning themselves at these lion cubs. I know you can hear me, but Andre's just doing it a little bit quieter in the back. So if you go to the right a little bit, Chandra, the one that's sort of grabbing the other one's neck there, Yes, they are played, but that grab hold that it was doing there is actually how it will grab prey sometimes. So a lot of the play that they're doing will incorporate their muscles into the muscle memory that they need later in life to capture and kill the prey species they need to do that with. There we go. There's a good example again, for food. And then some of it's just silly play. Sorry, Curse, what was Philip asking? Do these lions... Philip, they didn't take down and kill the branch themselves. The branch was already sort of half dead and they're just massacring the bits. Ah, Philip, you have a good sense of humor. I'm enjoying that question right now. Alright, Tayla thinks her lions might roar, her 2 male lions, which is always fabulous. So we're going to head back to her. Don't worry, Jeandre and I are not going to go anywhere. We're going to stay here and we'll be here when you get back from Tayla.
Have a little listen. Lions. Don't be like that. I heard that these boys are notorious for playing the guides. I heard that they teased Scott, but eventually his patience wore off. Well, he didn't wear off. But his patience was well worth it, and they did let out a big roar. I reckon he's listening around him, so I don't know if there's somebody else that's contact calling. There were some lionesses and maybe another male lion. They were lying out in the open, but very, very far away. There we go. You couldn't really see it. There is another lion roaring. There we go. There's the third boy.
I can't sit quietly anymore. That was amazing. That was 4 male lions all roaring. How incredible was that? I don't know if you feel the same way as me, but I cannot stop smiling. My cheeks are sore. This is so amazing. Woo! I just wish that they'd all roared at exactly the same time, but it seems as though the choir needs a bit of work. They obviously haven't been together for quite some time, and you know, it takes a couple of days of practice at band to get back into it. So I think that's exactly what needs to happen. But who knows? Maybe they all come together now, that they all know where each other, well, everybody's sitting in the same spot. No one's got up and moved yet. So hopefully they're just going to go greet each other, do another big roar for us all together, and then I'll be a happy girl and I can go to bed and go to sleep. That was amazing. That was so cool. I cannot tell you how I live for experiences like that. I'm one of the luckiest people alive. I bet you're all sitting there absolutely envious. I mean, it wasn't the best roars I've ever heard, but the fact that it was 4 lions, and the way that one started, and then the other, and then the third, and then the fourth just chiming in. That's what magic is made of for me. That was absolutely incredible. Where are they now? So, I suspect when we first arrived and we spotted the one lion, there must have been a male there too. And then the other fella sounds like he's coming from a little bit further south. So we'll see. We'll sit and wait. I was going to leave, but I don't think I'm going to leave anymore. However, Tristan has, actually I don't know what he's got, but it sounds like there's another leopard sighting.
No, Taylor, we're still sitting with Shadow and Cub, it must be all those cooking of roast potatoes that has got you a bit confused today. But it is a situation where it's pretty much still the same. You can see Shadow is having a good nap on a fallen over tree. Cub has been up and down annoying her and kind of grooming her, and it was very cute just now. We had the little Cub's eyes peering over the back of this fallen over tree and Shadow grooming her, and then the paws on Shadow's head. But for now it's all kind of settled down. They haven't moved too far from where you last saw us. We've just moved a little bit further south, but not much. They can probably still see where that hyena is with that carcass, and I think they're just going to hang around in the hope that maybe this hyena leaves and they can then get themselves a bit of food. But at this stage it's all rather sleepy, all rather sedate, and all rather very easy, and I don't think we're going to see too much more from them moving around. Oh, look at that. So Tayla says she was making mashed potatoes and not roast. But why would you make mashed potatoes on a Sunday? Sundays are made for roast potatoes, so I think Tayla has had too much sun today, and she should maybe not be making mashed potatoes or be allowed in the kitchen at all at this stage. What do you think, Sense?
I think the sun has roasted.
Yeah, Senzo says the sun has roasted her brain, which I think is quite fitting. But you can see Shadow just pops her head up every now and then. She's far less sort of likely to want to move. Still panting away. She's full at the end of the day. She ate all that stomach lining earlier, and then the little Cub is the one that is actually so busy. She's the one that's kind of still head up and looking around. You can see she's straight behind us at the moment. At one point she was lying, I would say, not even a meter from our back left wheel, and she was just staring up at Senzo as though she wanted to make friends. It was quite amazing actually watching her, and then she went back to Mom and had a little bit of a chill session with her, and now she's decided she's going to just plonk over. So I think it's going to be that time of the day where they're going to rest a bit before the night time kicks in, and I highly doubt that we're going to find them here tomorrow, unless by some miracle they're able to steal back that kill. But even then, there's so little left on there. It's just skin and bones and a bit of the neck area that they would probably finish it during the course of the night. I think we're going to find their tracks somewhere around Treehouse Dam tomorrow morning and moving in that general vicinity, and I think they're going to probably in all likelihood rest around that area. Well, I'm hoping they will, because it would be nice to catch up with them again in the morning. It's been so nice to have the two of them around as much as we have. Right now I'm sitting with these two and watching Mom and Cub have a wonderful afternoon together, and it seems Noelle is having an even better afternoon with the two, well, 4 Styx cubs, should I say, not 2 Styx cubs. I'm thinking of the Angamas, but the 4 little Styx cubs and all of the Styx females, and well, even a Birmingham too. It's a wonderful thing to see, and hopefully they too will stick around over the next few days.
Alright, the females are starting to get mobile, moving slowly but surely, and everyone behind them is going to start moving as well, because they are, of course, the leaders of the Pride. And for those who might just be joining us, this is the Styx Pride. We are live, we are interactive, so you can send through your questions, hashtag Safari Live on the Twitter or on the YouTube chat. You're more than welcome. The big male, one of the big Birminghams, has just set up. Yes, he is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boy. So we've been tracking him. He's just realizing that 2 of the females wandered off. He's like, oh my goodness, where did my females go? But he can still see them a little bit. Very aware now. Sometimes it takes them forever. I've watched whole prides leave their males and they've only woken up sort of 30 minutes later going, oh my goodness. And then the females do that sometimes on purpose just to give themselves a break, and then sometimes they just can't be bothered to wait. There's a gorgeous yawn. And here come the cubs to greet dad/uncle, depending. There's one just in front of him that's trying to figure out whether or not he can approach. Daryl, you're wondering how often dominant males will take over another pride. Depends on if the males that are in charge... Okay, let me put it this way. So you get dominant male territorial males in an area, and you get dominant female prides in an area. If those dominant males go away, there's a vacuum for space for some other males to come in, and or a male. If those males that are dominant in that area are older and there's a younger coalition that wants to come through, they can take them out. and then the pride that's in that area will then become their pride. Sometimes it's a peaceful takeover, and sometimes the females aren't that happy. So remember, you get coalitions of males and you get prides of females. And then males will attach themselves sometimes to one, sometimes to two, sometimes to three different prides. It depends, especially if they have within their territory more than one pride. They are definitely not always with those females. They have to mark territory, and even if they do have one pride, they have to mark territory and move off. So they're not always always with, oh, the cubs are jumping on dad. They're not always with their females. Now, this is a good dad, because good dads don't turn around and sort of snap at their little ones. It does happen, but I mean, those are sharp little claws. This male is fully happy to be Jungle Jim. And it's interesting, while he was while he was sleeping, they didn't want to bother him much, but now that they can see he's awake, they're very, very interested in their dad/uncle. Exactly. It's like, please play with me. Please. Ooh. One look. Okay, all the adult females have gone. Ooh. So that was too much. That was too much for Dad. That was a little bit too much for him. A little bit too much pain. Dad has not eaten. Dad/uncle has not eaten in a while. He's looking a little bit hungry. Most of the females as well looked hungry. So now that all the adult females have gone off, and most of the older cubs, except for that one at the back, these little cubs are going to follow Dad through. And then they are going down towards the water's edge. Some of them are already drinking. Once this big male passes through, I'm going to just drive forward and we'll get a good visual. I just don't want to start up the vehicle now. I don't want to scare the youngsters. His name is what, Kirst? Tino. Oh, so Kirst, in the Sabi Sands, do they give not just the coalitions but each individual a name as well? Okay. Really, you're gonna lie down there? Alright, let's head up to Tayla quick. She's got a nocturnal creature for us that might run away. So we'll go up to her and then I'll reposition and we'll get a nice shot for you of them drinking and of the cubs playing with Dad. Quick! There's a white-tail mongoose. Where's our white-tail mongoose gone now? It's here. Somewhere. Wasn't too scared. It was actually quite relaxed. But maybe now that I'm driving right up to it, it's probably not. There it is. Ta-da! It tried to trick us. Stop trying to trick us, mongoose. Hang on, I have to move again. It's going to the edge of that tree. Hang on. It's behind that shrub now. I'm just trying to see where it's coming out. So I've got my spotlight on. I can use a spotlight on this thing though. It doesn't mind it too much. It is just, they are just nervous creatures, full stop. Okay, let me go forward. I will show you it. I will. No man, surely it couldn't have run off. Where's it hiding? It's a sneaky. Oh no. Okay, sorry everybody. I thought we were really going to have it this time. It was very relaxed. It didn't seem to mind, and then it just changed. Well, I suppose it changed its mind and then booked out. It went behind that tree somewhere over there, but now it's gone. It's probably just sitting flat in the grass. It'll camouflage very, very well. Ooh, Lara Moore, you say mongoose on the loose. Mongoose on the loose. That sounds like a great song. I could probably dance to that. Yes, it is a mongoose on the loose, but it is not a mongoose on the loose that we're going to see, unfortunately.
Well, that's sad. Maybe we find another one. Let's quickly have a look. This area is filled with creatures of the night. It's actually quite nice. And the alates are back out again tonight. I can confirm this because they've crawled all the way up my legs already, and they're also flying into my head and into the lights. So that is very good news for us, or for those that want to see little small nocturnal creatures. We might have a good chance this evening. We could see owls, which are very exciting. We don't often see owls of the Mara. We could see more white-tailed mongoose, snakes. I would like to see a rock python. I would also like to see a brown house snake eating alates. I would like to see some frogs, maybe some bullfrogs feasting upon them too. Bats. Well, no, maybe not bats. Well, I said bats. Bats prefer little small insects. I've never seen a microchiroptera bat eating a termite. Sometimes I talk absolute nonsense. You don't listen to the things I say. Rather listen to Jamie and Brent and James and Tristan and Noel. I'll just be here for the funny things. Give me all the hilarious sightings. Okay, wait, we're gonna find another one, I'm convinced. So I'm concentrating now because I'm looking for the reflection of the eyes. Where are you? Or we're gonna find a striped polecat. Oh, I see eyes, I see eyes. I see it, it's running. It's a something. I'm sure it's another white-tailed mongoose. Oh, hold on, a little bit bumpy. Okay, I'm going to use the, yes, it's the white-tailed mongoose. It's not the one that I was talking about, but it's another one. And the lion is roaring, listen. Yeah, it's using its anal glands. Did you see that? Not even acknowledging that the lion is roaring. How rude, because I think it's a beautiful call. Sorry, I'm jumping around the cart trying to get the alates off my legs. Did you see how it actually deposited a little bit of something on a piece of grass, an anal secretion? And so very, very much like what a hyena would do, something similar to that. Which was quite cool, since obviously on a little territorial patrol. Very exciting. Let's see mating mongoose. I'm trying to follow it with the spotlight because it's just a little bit too far away for the infrared lights. I have a beetle in my shoe. How did a beetle get in my shoe? There's not even any room, barely for my feet. Now, James, you're wondering if there's any purpose to that whitetail. Perhaps it's to try and confuse predators and make them think that there's something like a skunk. I mean, it's got very similar markings, or maybe it's savage like a honey badger, again, got similar markings. I don't know if there's an exact function. It probably is. However, it's not a follow me sign. I think follow me signs are predominantly for sort of diurnal animals in terms of something like that, you know, that is obvious, and they're not diurnal animals. I don't know how well white sort of sticks out in the black of the night. You don't have an artificial light on it. I can't see that color. Well, I can't see it, so I can't actually comment on that. So I wonder if it's just maybe to try and confuse something and make it look as if it was a skunk of sorts, because we know that animals that do have sort of foul-smelling substances that they will either squirt out or secrete typically are black and white in color. So episomatic coloration, they're distasteful, perhaps. Right, we're going to keep bumbling. I think we're going to find plenty white-tailed mongoose this evening, which is very exciting. So I'm going to keep searching for them as well as owls. Noel is still sitting with the very adorable lions.
So the majority of the pride has come down for a drink. Dad/uncle, so we're just going to call him the male. What did you guys call him? Tino. One of the Birmingham boys is still up on the damn wall with the little ones. We actually came down and positioned the way we did because we want to get some really nice visuals for you face front of these females and the older sets of cubs. So we're just going to wait here and see what transpires. There's that reaffirming the social bond we chatted about earlier. The muscles in her chest. Yes, she has not. This is the mum. You can actually see. Oh, don't lie down. Before she lay down, you could see her swollen teats there, but they have not eaten, I would say, within the last Sort of 4 or 5 days. That would be my guesstimate. And this is a perfect time for them to start to hunt. Tula Ann, it's good to hear your voice. I haven't heard you in a while. Tula Ann, sorry, did you ask, are baby lions cute to hold like your kittens? Was that the question, Kurt? Claws like the... I've got you. Yeah, they're just like your kitten's claws, exactly like that, and they're really sharp. They are dangerous little implements, as it were. And if you have a kitten, then you would know exactly what it feels like. And even your kitten's little teeth are the same as those baby lions. That one's coming in for a bath. It's bath time. This time of night is my favorite time of night. So the sun's gone down. We probably have about another sort of 15 minutes of usable light, maybe 10. And it wasn't extremely warm by any means today, but this lion getting ready for the evening and for making their way around is one of my favorite evening rituals to watch. It never gets old to me. I am never disappointed. And I'm quite in love with most of these adult females in this group. They've got really stunning golden eyes. I mean, look at the muscles on her. She's got bulldog type muscles. You can see she's a very good hunter. You can see she's been a good mum over the years and raised some little ones. That one still wants more bath time. There you can see how she's drooping low. This is the mother of the little ones. Can you see the difference with her, who's lactating, as opposed to the other females? Oh, sorry, I'm lying to you. That's the female with the middle set of cubs. Then if we come, the one that's passing by me now, this is the female with the eldest set of cubs, and then the one coming through now is the one with the youngest cubs. You see the difference in the lactation there? So the big male that I can see hasn't moved yet, and I'm wondering if he might stay behind with the little ones. I have seen that come. I have seen that happen before. Let's go back up to Tayla and Kenya quickly, and we will stay with the Styx as they meander off. See what Tayla has in store for us.
We've got a Janet, and it's after all the alates. It's far away though, against the tree line where the Mara River is. Perfect spot for a Janet. There it is, hopping about. See it jumping around? Oh my goodness, I wish my spotlight was stronger. What is it doing in there? I wonder if it's just chasing after and leaping into the air after all the alates. Is it going to come out again? Janet, please? I was very excited. I've never seen a Janet bounce around so much in my entire life. Very cool. Anyways, it's now gone into the tree line. We might find more. Let's look. Let's search. Let's be like Rihanna and search, 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 search. Just joking. I hope that song is now stuck in all of your heads. Ha ha ha, I'm so evil. Okay, let's... And it's also not the lyrics, I know, don't worry, in case you think... Oh, Hyena! Hi, Hyena! Where are you running to? Shall we run with you? Well, I won't. I'm just going to drive the car very slowly next to the hyena as it walks. Now, I've also got my spotlight out. I'm using it tonight. Not too much though, just every now and then. Again, it's just using it to enhance the infrared light. It's very far away. How cool is that shadow that it's casting though? It's quite eerie. Looks a bit like a werewolf. Actually no, that reminds me of a brown hyena. The shadow that it's casting. Just stopping, having a little look around. You might even see the alates buzzing about. What have you heard? Listening very carefully to what the night has to say. Changing direction completely now, so something must have intrigued it. It's now going west rather than south. Very interesting. I love seeing all these critters of the night, don't you? I just assume that you've all said, yes, Tayla, of course. I make up my own answers into the head to what you were all thinking. That's why I have so much fun on safari. This could also be good chameleon country too. That's for sure, with all the trees that are around. Oh, hippopotamus crossing! Look at all the animals that I'm seeing! Hello, hippopotamus. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout. I shall leave my light off for the hippopotamus. He's deciding if he's, or she, excuse me madam, you could be a madam, deciding whether or not you're going to cross the road. Are you a chicken? I feel like there's a horrible joke waiting here. Come on, share them hashtags Safari Live. What is the funniest thing you can think of about a hippo crossing the road? And go. And while we wait for this fella to cross the road, or girl, let's go across to Tristan. He's decided he's not missing out on the fun. He's back with the spots.
I am back with Shadow. Well, I actually didn't really leave her, to be honest. As you can see, she's just going to cross the road behind me, and I don't know if she's going to head down the road or what her story is going to be. It looks like she might actually just lie down somewhere there. Could be that she just feels like rather being on the road itself. So I'm just going to turn around so that Senzo's doesn't have to have cables and aerials and all kinds of other things in his way, because you can see she's lying directly behind me. Now the cub is off to my left. He's busy trying to frolic around with hyenas and try and play that game, so that's what that one's busy with. But hopefully Shadow will just lie down and she'll be chilled, and we'll be able to finish our evening with the two of them. It's been such a wonderful thing. I was going to leave because there were other vehicles that wanted to come, but then everybody said that they'll leave instead, and so we're in a situation now where I can just stay with these two, which is absolutely wonderful, really. So we've had such a cool afternoon. It's been a leopard sighting where they haven't stopped. Oh, sorry, Jigger. I'd rather use the accelerator and just not just let out the clutch, but we haven't had a situation where the two of them have really stopped for too long this afternoon. They've been up and down and all over the place, and it's just been so nice to actually spend time with them, and a lot of it's by ourselves, which has been really wonderful. But I think Shadow's decided the sort of road is a much better place to lie at the moment than in the grass. It's probably find less insects crawling on her and less of any sort of obstructions of grass and various other things, and she's worked out that that's exactly where she wants to be, and she's looking about as regal as you could possibly get from a leopard. There is nothing better, though, I must be honest, when you come around a corner and you see that lying in the road. It is singly the best thing ever. I absolutely love when you come around a corner and you find leopard, especially if you've had a tough day and you've been trying to find leopard, and then you come around and you see something like this. I know this afternoon has not been the case, but whenever I see a leopard in the road like this, I always think of the times when we track them, that it's nice if they would do this a little bit more often than what they actually do, because a lot of the time we end up in a situation where we look for them everywhere and they very seldom actually lie on the roads like this. Lions, a lot of the time, on roads, but leopards not nearly as much as what you see from the lions. But she's starting to get quite sleepy. You can see that head is starting to sort of bow down, and I think it's going to be a situation where she's eventually going to just fall asleep right there. It's probably the most comfortable spot for her at the moment. I'm not sure where the cub has gone. Like I said, it was around and frolicking with the hyena behind me. Whether or not it's still doing that, I'm not quite sure. I think this stage is a situation where the hyena's probably still just chewing away. I heard some crunching of bones just now, so I'm pretty sure that hyena's still got the carcass and still feeding, and don't think it's going to let go of it at all. Right, it seems as though Tayla McCurdy, who was a bit tardy, has also become a little bit more awake in the last few minutes and has found many things this evening that are of the nocturnal variety, and she's now, I believe, got another one of those mongoose with big white fluffy tails.
This mongoose is after roast potatoes, Tristan. That's what it's looking for. Typically the roast potatoes that are on the road. This is a cool little white-tailed mongoose too, because it doesn't seem to be so shy. It's running about and doing its thing in clear view for us, which is quite nice. And very busy. I think it's looking, again, I keep saying they're looking for the alates. There's lots of little beetles, little chafers around too, so it could be going for that. But I mean, ideally you want to find where all those alates are being expelled from, don't you? Because that, oh there we are, because that is going to be a gold mine. There you go, marking, scent marking, of course, bye-bye. Off it's going again. This is really interesting to watch them. I've never actually seen them scent mark before. We're very much like a mongoose. I've seen small grey mongoose scent mark, but I have never seen the white-tailed mongoose. This is the first time they've ever sat still. Thank you. Let me go up a bit further forward. Let's see if we can get another view. We're having lots of luck with all the little creatures, and it's also Hippo City out here. I have seen maybe about 30 or 40 hippos already, just everywhere. You know, they're all charging into us, just about, because they're trying to come out of their tunnels in the forest. Are you going to stay for one last view? Let's see, it's going up the mound. Yeah, I think it's getting lucky now with finding where exactly. Oh no, I think it's gone now. It was on top of the mound. It has disappeared onto the other side. Oh no, there it is to the right. There we go, it's just running off to the right hand side. Yeah, it's disappeared. And it's gone into the bushes. We can't see it anymore. That's okay, we've seen so many of them. Probably going to see a whole bunch more. It's a good night. Really is a good night for nocturnal critters. Let me concentrate over this little bridge. No chameleons here. Sadly, I'm not the chameleon queen. Chameleon queen in Djuma. No, I am the chameleon queen in Djuma, and I'm not the chameleon queen in Kenya. I'm just the marshmallow queen. Anyways, it's been great, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning. I'm going to send you back across with Noel, and of course the lovely lion cubs.
I hear what you're saying. I really want to get the start of our segment shot to be him walking into camera.
So it's far away like this, and you look more lower, and then you look more direction.
Yeah. I just want, are you good? Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I mean, he's following them, and they walked right here, so he should turn and come straight at us.
Now, unfortunately, Noel's had a few gremlins, and so you're back with us as we make our way back home. We've just left Shadow right now. One of the other vehicles that was there, the way she was lying, he has some photographic guests, and so we let him have our position because we had such a nice sort of spot there. So left that for them to enjoy and for them to kind of enjoy their evening. They only just got going now. Apparently they arrived a bit late, so I'm sure they're going to have a wonderful evening with so much around. I believe the Angama Pride was seen on Buffels Hook this afternoon as well, which is quite nice. And that one lioness from the Angama Pride was also found around Buffels Hook dam, which is very, very cool. So lots going on, lots happening, and it's excellent news that the Styx are walking north. Of course, I know the Styx can cover massive distance, and chances are they probably will head towards Torchwood, but you never know. Maybe they're going to end up hanging around for tomorrow morning's drive as well, and I believe those cubs are super cute. So really, really, really great to have them around as well. And I was just saying to Senzo as we were kind of driving home now, what an incredible afternoon it's been from all sides. I mean, it started with a bang with Scott's cheetah kill, and then we had the little eggs, and obviously we've had lots of other baby animals this afternoon. So it's been really a special afternoon. I think everybody's had a wonderful time of it. I know Tayla loves lions roaring, and like I say, Scott the cheetahs and various other sightings that we've had. But unfortunately, it's all that we've got time for. So from Scott, myself, Tayla, and Noel, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you all tomorrow morning on the sunrise safari. And remember, it's a little bit earlier tomorrow morning.